Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? How are you all doing? Let me admit more people so we can begin. All right. So tonight, today will be we're not going to have lecture tomorrow because tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve and the Christmas Day, there won't be lecture. So after today next time we meet will be on Monday. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so we're not going to have any lecture tomorrow. So after tonight, we'll meet on Monday night. So we come back here on Monday to continue. So in the meantime, try and complete your homework that are due this weekend. Now, I have not put in your names and remind yet. So I will probably by Monday I will have it ready for you. And from next week, I will start making the Excel assignments available. I will show example, and then you can apply that example to solve the questions on the Excel assignments. All right, let's start. Yesterday we stopped at I think I'm going to close some pages. I opened so many pages. I'm always doing this. I don't know why. I'm going to close some of these pages. There's so much of them. Okay. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
The last example we did yesterday was this one here. The variance standard deviation for on-group data. So let us conclude by that section by doing this, and then we can now go to group data. So coefficient of variation. So I explained that we use this. This is a measure of variation that tell us basically is a ratio that tell us or give us information about two places or two things. So we use it to compare the degree of variation from one data set to another. So the formula for computing the coefficient of variation is here. CV, which means coefficient of variation, is standard deviation divided by the mean times 100. So we can try an example of that. Okay, let's try one example. Okay. All right. It says the mean number of sales of cars over a 3-month period is 87, and the standard deviation is 5. The mean of the commission is 5,225, and the standard deviation is $773. 5,000. So compare the variation of these two. You say compare the variation of the two. That means to calculate the coefficient of variation. Then explain your result. So let's use it. Applying this formula, solution. You notice that the mean here is for cells. Let's start with cells first of all. Cells. Okay. For cells, the mean is 87, and the standard deviation is 5. So plugging it into this formula, we have our CV, which is coefficient of variation, becomes standard deviation of 5. Okay, 5 divided by the mean of 87. Okay, multiply the results by 100. So putting this in our calculator, we'll get the coefficient of variation for cells. So have it as 5/87. Then times 100. You can see my screen, I believe. 5.7%.
Yes.
5.7%. So I will go back and then put it at the answer as 5.7% for sales. 5.7%. Then we repeat the same process for the commission. So for commission, we have it in this way. For commission, the mean is $5,225, and the standard deviation is 773. So that the CV coefficient of variation becomes standard deviation, which is the 773 divided by the mean of 5,225. Then multiply the results by hundreds. And that will give you the coefficient of variation for commission. So here I'm going to change this to that 773 divided by 5,225. And that gives us 14.794, which round to, when you round it, you have 14.8%. So you go there and put 14.8%. 14.8%. So you can see that the commission varies more than the sales. So that's the interpretation. The commission varies more than the sale. Okay. Interpretation of this. The commission varies more than the sales. So if you see somebody who's working at sales in a different company, and the commission, if you do the CV, if you compare the commission to sales, and if you get something like maybe a smaller number, 10%, let's say 10%. That's why some people say, he is doing the same thing I'm doing. How come he's richer than me? Or she's doing the same thing, how come? Because the commission, they're doing the same thing, but the rate of change between the commission and the commission is higher, you know. So that's why you can see let's say two nurses working at different hospitals, the same rank, but making different amounts because of these variations. Any question? Any question? In the stock market, stock brokers, I mean, people that buy and sell stock use this metric to check which stock to pick. Some stock move bigger than the index. That's when index is high, they move higher. When it's low, they move lower, or they move against the index. You know, so they use it to make such decisions. And I explained that you can use to compare the standard of living between two cities as well. It's a very important metric. Questions? Excellent. So no question. Now you can look at the grouped data. So we're going to repeat the same thing we did before, but now for group data. The first metric statistic we'll be computing is the weighted mean. So in this case, we assign weights to each value, to each categories. And a good example of a weighted mean is your GPA, grade point average. That's a good example. So this is the formula here. Sum of the weight times X divided by the sum of the weights. So for GPA, the weight is becomes the credit. Like some classes have 3 credit loads, some have 4 credit loads. So those credit load becomes the weight. Then grade becomes your X value. So let's look at this, for example. Say Jessica's score in various courses are presented below. Compute Jessica's grade point average. That is, calculate the weight expected mean of her, using her data. So what we need to do now is to get a table of values for Jessica. So we can now have it here. Let me put it here. Solution. Solutions. Yeah. So let me copy this and put it down there, then make some adjustments. Maybe I should move this down a little bit so we can have enough room for this. Let me move it down. So we can have more room. I'm going to move this other one down. So that I paste it here. Okay. The weight. Of course, you know that the A is for 4 points. So B, C, these are her grade on those exams. C is 2 points, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to have it here, credits. So I'm going to remove the letters so we can have only the points. Okay. Remove the letters so we can have only the points. So keep doing, getting do it for all of them. Now, excuse me, I gotta take it back. Okay. Now, one part of the formula we're missing is, remember the formula is, let me put the formula down a little bit. Remember the formula is here. So one part we're missing is the W times X part of it. So we're gonna add it. So I'm gonna add W times X part of it. Okay, I'm gonna undo this. Do it right. Okay. Let me do it this way. Yes, that takes care of it. Okay. All right, have it. W times X part of it. Is W times X. W times X. Yeah. So W times X we have, and we need the total. So we're gonna add total column here. Total. Okay. We have all the credits. Then we have to get this one. W times X means 3 times 4, which is 12. You can double check. We have 3 times 2, 6. Yeah. 4 times 3, 12. Times 1, 2. Now we add all this together, W times X part of it. So I'm taking you to where we can add it. You have go to our calculator. So you have it that 12 plus 6 plus 12 plus 2, which is 32. So we go there and put 32. 32 here. And we add the weights because it says sum of weights. So we're going to add the weights. So we're going to give us some. Adding the weight, we have 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 12. We go there and add 12 to that. 12. So now, with this, we are ready to do the calculation. So this one here, let me put it this way. This one is for this. See, 32. That is for 32. Just as the sum of weight times. think it's closing. Again. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. See right there. That's it for this one. See? That's 32. Now 12 will be for, I think I'm going to use a wiggly line for this. 12 is for this one here. See, that's for 12. This 12 here. So just all we need to do is to plug them in, so that we have that our weighted mean. The weighted mean as the GPA, but it says here calculate Jessica GPA. So the GPA, Jessica's GPA becomes, well, move it so I can see it properly. So it becomes this number here, this W times X, which is 32 over 12. And that gives us 32 divided by 12. Okay. We have 32 divided by 12, 2.7. Okay, so it's 2.6666, which is 2.7 approximately. Which is 2.7. Okay, 2.7, 2.7. Now, the weighted mean, another good example of weighted mean is your credit score. If you look at this credit score, you can see that there are different things that compile that add together to make up your credit score.
Excuse me, Professor.
Go ahead.
For the weighted mean, the numerator, it has the sum of W times X. So is that the 12 times the 32, or is it the 3 times the 12?
Look at my hand here.
Right.
W times, this is W times X right there.
Right. So it's
and this is the sum right there.
So it's supposed to be 32 times X.
No.
So what's W then?
Look again. See my cursor, W times X. See all numbers that constitute W times X are here.
Right.
So this is that sum right here. That's why I draw the I draw the arrow to show you.
So what about the W next to it is
together here, W times X. See W times X. That means 3 times 4, 12.
Right, so but you have the sum of, doesn't that E sign equal the sum of W?
It is, and this is the sum right here. See, I highlighted it for you.
Right. So so the W, that sign where the W is on the numerator is going to be 32, and the X is also 32.
So it means the sum of W times X.
Right.
So here is W times X, and the sum of it is here, which is 12 plus 6 plus 12 plus 2. I'll give you 32, which means the sum of W times X.
Okay. All right. I thought it was the sum of W by itself.
But W by itself is different. It's right here. 12.
Right. Okay.
You see my arrow? I draw it to show you.
Right. That's why I was a little confused, because it looks the same as what the numerator and denominator look. So I was like, okay, why didn't you put 12 up there also? But I get it now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, very good. Very good to get it now. Another question on this. Okay, good, excellent. Now, we can now go to the group data. So this is one of them, but this is main one. It says here, the data. This data below represent the net worth of in billion of 45 national corporations. They compute the following: the mean, the median class, and the median, the modal class and the mode, the variance, the standard deviation, and explain your results. So in this kind of question, you have to make a table of value. A table of value that will show you, or that once you get the table of value correct, you can apply the formulas for this to get it for getting all these statistics here. So these are the formulas here that we use. If you look at this formula, you observe that it is very similar to the one we use for ungrouped mean. This is the one we use for finding the mean for ungrouped data. I think it is right here. They look alike, except that in the one that we're using today, the frequency have been added. F was added. When we go, actually, this is standard deviation. This is the mean right here. See, so they look alike, but the difference that F is as the frequency will be added here. So now when you look at it, you can see that the only difference is that here we have the frequency added, because this time around they are grouped and there is a frequency. Unlike the other one, they are not grouped. So frequency times sum of frequency times x divided by sum of f, which is sum of frequency. So first of all, you get your frequency, which is given, get your x, then get your multiply them, then get their sum. So it's a lot of things that we need to do on the table. And while preparing that table, you have to be very, very careful, because any mistake on the table, we reflect on all of your answers. So let us, and another thing I want to tell you about this grouped mean and grouped computation is that what we have are the estimates, since they are grouped together. So we have only the estimate of this statistic we are calculating, or parameter, not the actual value, but only the estimates. So, but the estimates are much, much better than not having nothing. So let's do it. First thing again is to prepare a table of values that will accommodate all these things that they ask you to do. So let us get our table of, for the table of values, we're going to add all this information that I will put here. We have our net worth. Okay. Next thing we need to get is our midpoint. So I'm gonna put the lines that will separate everything that we calculate here. You see this will work. I don't know why it's keep doing this, but we'll figure it out. So let's just put them together. Okay, I got it. Let me see. Let me go from here. Oh, it's the same thing. It happens sometimes. So let me be careful, more careful. Good. Got this first line. Got the second line. Oh, I'm doing it at the wrong place. Let me do it at the right place. Okay. Again. Then. So they gave us the frequency already. So I'm gonna draw more here and close more the other ones. Okay. So what we are doing, we are trying to make that table of values. Okay. I'm gonna make so many lines. Sometimes Word can have attitude just like Excel. Okay. One more that we need. Okay, now I'm going to drop this and then remove this one here. Okay, next we get our midpoint. Our midpoint becomes our x. Our x. Okay. We have our frequency. Our frequency becomes our f. Okay. So we're gonna so next is to get our cumulative frequency, CF. I showed you how to get cumulative frequency when we were doing a data presentation. when I explained that the first frequency stays the same. So we need this to be able to get the median class and the modal class. Basically, the median class actually. Cumulative frequency is the first number stay the same. For the other numbers, you add to the next number. So 2 plus 8 give us 10. And then 10 plus 15 give us 25, and so on and so forth. 25 plus 7 give us 32. 32 plus 10, 42. And then 42 plus 3 give us 5. I mean, 45. Now we need a total column. So I'm going to add the total right here. Totals. So once you get this table of values, that's when you begin, before you can do any calculation. You need all these values. Okay. Let me remove these billions. Well, we already know that they are in billions. A little bit, move this a little bit to the left. Yeah, good. Now, midpoint. Another thing we need to get is the other values that will help us to get sum of f times x, sum of f times x squared, sum of f times x squared. And so we need to add them in this table so that we can easily calculate them. So I'm gonna put them here. Okay. Next thing is the f times x. F times x. So I'm gonna put it down so we can be here. So now we're gonna get x squared. Okay. X squared. And that we need to get as well. Okay. Now we also need to get f times x squared, f times x squared. This will help us to get the standard variance and standard deviation. Okay. So these are all we need to get. Once we get everything here correct, we can be able to answer these questions: the mean, median, class, and mode, then standard deviation and variance. Now let us start putting the information together. Let's start with the first one, the midpoint. The midpoint is always the lower class interval plus the upper class interval divided by 2. So we have it here. Solutions. Okay. The first midpoint is this plus this divided by 2. And it's gonna be midpoint equals 10 plus 20, 10 plus 20 divided by 2. So following this approach, you will have, okay, 10 plus 20 divided by 2 give me 15. So that we go back and put it in as the first midpoint as 15, which is 15 here. Okay. Now the second midpoint will be midpoint. So we're doing this, be careful, don't rush. If you rush, you increase the chance of making mistake. That'll be 21 plus 31 divided by 2. Okay. 21 plus 31 divided by 2. So we go and calculate it. We'll have 21 plus 31. 21. Okay, 20. We have only 10 minutes left. 21. Okay, plus 31. 31 divided by 2, which is 26. We go down and put 26. 26. So following this approach, I got the rest of the midpoints as follows. I get 37. I get 48. I got 59. And then I get 70. Following the same approach of adding the two numbers, like this plus that divided by 2. I'm going to get 26 on this one. So any question on the midpoint? Hello, class? Hello?
No.
So we continue like this until we still have 8 minutes left. So when the minute expires, wait for 10 minutes and log back in so that we can finish this, okay? Now, frequency times X is this one here times that. So frequency times X. So 2 times 5 is 30. Everybody knows that. It's 30. 8 times 26. We have 8 times 26. So we have 8 times 26 is 208. 208. So we got 208. So following that approach, I got the rest of them as, okay, give me 1 minute. Following the approach, I got the rest of them as, next one I got 555, then 336, 590, 210. Now, next is X squared. These are the X's. So that means X means to square each of them. The first one is 15. So it means 15 squared. So going to your calculator, you have clear this 15 squared. 15 squared is 225. So the first one is 225. 225. So following the same method, I got the rest of them. 26 squared, I got 676. Yeah. Next one is 37 squared. I got 1369. So get the rest of them. 2304. Yeah, 3841. 900. Yeah. Now we finish that part. Next. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
The 59 times 59 is what? 59 squared.
Yeah, 59 squared. So,
I think you got the numbers wrong.
Yes, it's 3481.
3481.
Yes.
Let's see. 59 squared, right?
Yes.
9 squared. 3481, right?
Yeah, I think you got 38.
3481. I wrote 3841. Okay. 3481. So now 3481. 3481. Am I right?
Yes.
The other one is 4900, right? This one is right. Okay.
Yes.
Now we are ready to get the this one. So say F times X squared. This is our F. This is our X squared. So F times X squared means this one here times that. So 2 times 225. We got 2 times 225. Okay. Okay. 2 times 225. Say 450. So I go there and put 450. 450. Following the second one will become 8 times 676. So we have 8. Okay. 8 times 676. 5408. So we got 5408. 5408. So following the same approach, we get the rest of them as 2535. 535. Okay, we got 161 to 8. This is the one we corrected here, right? This one. So let me use this 10 times that, 10 times this, 10 times that give us 3, 4, 810, right?
Correct.
34810. 34. Just me 1 minute. 3481. Okay. 34810. The next one is 4900 times 3. That gives us 147. Okay. 00. Now we have our table complete. Next thing is to find the total. The totals we need here will only be this one here. You know what? Yeah, this is it. And we need this total here. This one. And this one. These are the three totals we need. So this one, add all of this together. How many minutes? We still have 2 minutes. So let's see if we get all the totals so that when we come back, we now begin to answer these questions here. Because this table is just to help us answer this question. Okay. Now, let's get the total frequency. I say total frequency will be, let's see, add the frequencies. So I got 2 plus 8. Okay, plus 15 plus 7. And plus 10 plus 3. Okay, plus 3, give me 45. So that's give us the 45 we have here. 45. Then following the same approach. So this is our total right here. 45. Following the same approach, we have this one as. So I'm gonna remove these things. So now this one, if I add all of this, you can double check this for me. 1929. So I'm gonna remove from here. Okay. Now for this one, when I added it, I got 22,031. I'll move this. Okay. Now we'll come back. We have finished the table. When we come back, we now start answering this question using these values. Any question before because we have less than a minute. Any question before I close up and then log back in? Any questions so far?
No.
I see you in next 10 minutes.